I cannot wait to share this hidden gem with you. Camp Riverview is a campground in Concan, Texas, located right on the banks of the Frio River. They have half a mile of river frontage just for their guests with super easy access. You can even do a miniature float right through the middle of camp without ever having to leave and drop off somewhere else. It's super convenient. They have cabins, tent camping, and RV spots so that everyone in the family can camp however they need to feel comfortable. They offer lots of family-friendly activities, glow-in-the-dark hayrides, water hayrides, craps, laser tag, and truly are a great campground for families. Check out www.friocampriverview.com or Frio Camp Riverview on social media.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the In Between Podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Leah.
And today, who do we have?
We have a very special guest with us today, Kristi Gerdes, and she is the new executive director of the Texas Hill Country River region. You're local, you are full of ideas, and you have such an extensive history with working with social media and marketing and all the things. And our little baby is being a chatterbox, so we do have our 5-month-old with us today. But we're so excited that you're here, and we are so excited to chat with you about your vision for the area and who you are and what you came from, where we're going, and all the things. So thank you for taking the time to meet with us. I know you are so busy right now, meeting with literally everyone in the Frio Canyon. So we're very grateful you're here today.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's start with, where did you grow up at?
So I grew up in Uvalde, pretty much since first grade. I've been here forever. My dad's family is from Crystal City and Carrizo. So I spent, elementary, high school here. I graduated in Uvalde, and I moved off for college and did some other things. And I've been back probably 20 years almost. So forever Uvaldean.
Wow. So you grew up, of course, coming out to the Frio River.
Absolutely.
So this was your backyard.
Yeah. Yes. What was that like?
It was amazing, especially, growing up on the river, and my family loves to do all things water. So we spent a lot of time here. And, as in high school, lots of my friends worked up here. We spent a lot of time on the river. I actually worked at House Pasture the first summer that it opened. Yeah, definitely OG Concan. But it was a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to still see, the people I grew up with here. Now they're running their family businesses. It's just really cool to interact with those people in a different perspective.
What year did the House Pasture open?
The summer of 1998.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I wasn't even in high school at that time.
Yeah, I remember when we would come, my family, we would stay at Encino Lodge, the house right by House Pasture. And there was nothing back there at that time when we first started coming. There was a ranch with a bunch of exotic animals, so we could see the zebras and stuff. And then every year the development started to happen more and more. But it's fun to see how things change, but also how things really stay the same. Even though there's things changing in this area, there's so much that's just still the same, like the House Pasture. It's still there and rocking and rolling. So.
Wow. What was the biggest difference you noticed between now and then?
In Concan in general?
Yeah, I guess in Concan in general.
I think it's grown a ton. I think you have your staples, but then you've had some really cool places come in, like Hippie Chicks and, new lodging. And obviously you guys are one of those. Yeah, I think there's been a lot of growth in the area. And I think with marketing and social media, a lot more people, come to the area. Even this week, I had people coming saying, oh my gosh, we were in West Texas. We heard about this and we just stopped on our way home and decided to stay a couple days.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
I thought that was really cool.
How did they, from where? Social media or?
From social media, they had seen it and decided to just take a detour. And so I thought that was really interesting and exciting how social media kind of impacts the way people travel now.
Yeah, I know whenever I'm going on a trip, the first thing I do is I get on TikTok or Instagram and I look up wherever I'm going and see the videos that pop up. Because I know a lot of times with Google, they're paid blogs. They're not as authentic. They're not done by somebody who's actually like staying out there. So the first thing I do is I look on social media to see where am I going to eat? Where am I going to stay? What am I going to take the kids to do?
I typically will look on YouTube. I love looking up stuff on YouTube. I kind of treat YouTube like a learning platform, but also um, a discovery platform for places that I'm visiting or places that I want to visit. Yeah, it's such a good platform for that.
Absolutely. And I think, I have teenagers and college age girls. So everything they do, they look at YouTube or TikTok or, Instagram, and they show me reels of what's going on and things to do. And that is one of my goals, at the Visit Uvalde County Center, is to really kind of put some of those influencer looking videos on our social media so people can see what it's like to be in the moment, whether it's at Joe Jimmy's or House Pasture or the different restaurants and shops. So we've already started that in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been exciting to see. I can see your thumbprints on socials already. You've been in this position for how many weeks?
3? This is week 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy. And
Fresh.
You've been nonstop. I know everybody I talk to is like, oh yeah, I just met with Kristi today, or I met with her yesterday, or I'm going to meet with her next week. And I think it's exciting. And we're so excited that you're in this position. And I would love to jump into what are some of your goals? Because you just mentioned the socials. What are some of your other goals for the area?
My goal is really to think about what we can do outside of summer. So, who is interested? So as I've been kind of going around and meeting with people and, talking with people, I've been asking, what are your interests? What are some ideas that you have? And so how do we put those people together with similar interests, things that they're excited about, and, start putting together some events? I know Visit Uvalde County can't host events, but we can definitely help put members and stakeholders together and kind of help guide that and then do the advertising and marketing for it. So that's kind of, as I've been talking with people, is really thinking about what's next. How can we build on tourism in the spring, in the fall? Because summer, we have a lot of people coming here, and we'll continue that marketing as well. But what else can we do to draw people to our area, especially, just people who don't know about it or, don't know what we have to offer in the fall and the spring.
Yeah, in the fall and spring, it's so people don't think about it much that come out for the summer. And I used to fall into that category as well because I grew up camping at Garner State Park in the summer. And the river was always associated, coming to the river was always associated with in the summertime, summer months. And then never really thought about it once I left. I just kind of out of sight, out of mind, got busy with life. And then fast forward another year, then I'm planning my next summer trip. And I think that's kind of the case for most folks who come out here. But since living out here, I've noticed there's something very special about coming out here in the off season, which is after Labor Day or even before Memorial Day. In the winter or fall months, it's cooler, which makes it great for really being outdoors, but not in the river, but like doing that outdoor activities, hiking Old Garner State Park, Old Baldy at Garner State Park, rather. It's great conditions for that. Having a campfire outside when it's cooler. And I know for me, sitting by a fire, and a lot of people feel the same way. There's nothing like just sitting outside and enjoying a fire. A lot of people do that in the summer, but in the cooler months is different. It's very different. But yeah, I don't know. Do you agree with that? That's kind of most people that come out here in the summer don't really think about it after they leave?
I think so. I think they, it's a summer destination.
Yeah.
they think about it that way. But I agree. Like the hiking is wonderful. Like in October, November, like the weather is beautiful. Like you said, you can actually sit outside by the campfire and enjoy it. I think in the summer you can roast s'mores and things, but you can really like kind of have that outdoor experience in that off-season time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quieter and rates go down. So lodging is cheaper. There's less people, and it all around is such a great time to come. People just don't know. And that's what we've kind of struggled with is how do we get the word out there? How do we let people know that summer is incredible and wonderful, but so is the fall, so is the spring, and even so is the winter. We typically have mild winters with the occasional cold spell here and there. So I think, I did not know about fall on the Frio until we lived here. And I grew up an hour and a half away in Dilley, Texas. Coming out here for the summer, had no idea how beautiful it was when the leaves change on the cypress trees along the river. Didn't even know about that. So I think it's just a matter of us figuring out how to all get the word out there and let people learn. I'm going to grab this baby.
That's fine.
Oh, just bounce her. Yeah. And I guess another kind of, it's related to our area, but it's not it's in actually another county, but Lost Maple State Park becomes a very popular attraction in the off season for us. A lot of people will stay in Concan and or in Uvalde County, and then make the trek up to Lost Maple State Park. Is that something you've done before?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a great activity for people that are staying in Uvalde County or Concan or, in the area. I take my girls hiking there almost every October. We come through Utopia. We go to the park in Utopia. We have we'll either do like a quick little picnic or a play date at that park just because it's so beautiful. We also like to stop at Lost Maples Cafe and have lunch there, and then we go hiking. And so I think it's a really good opportunity for people to see kind of all of the things that Uvalde County has to offer.
Also, I do have to ask, you're pretty much born and raised in this area. What are can you tell us some of the other activities that you can do, not just kind of in the Concan area, but in other spots of or other areas of the Uvalde County that most people may not know about? Or is there something that you could share with us, or that you could think of off the top of your mind? Or if you want to take some time to think about it and then get back, we could revisit it. But I thought I'd ask the locals, because the locals always know the good spots.
We really love all things water. So we've been kayaking the Oasis. We have floated the Frio twice in the last few weeks, but then we've also put our kayaks in at the Oasis. It's just a totally different feel, but beautiful. I mean, Concan is beautiful. The Frio is beautiful. It's just a different feel. You don't have the big trees there, but you've got the big bluffs. You don't have, as many things off of the river. I mean, it's very remote. You're going to kayak and you may or may not see anyone else. So it's a little bit different experience, but definitely worth visiting. I think, if you're out that direction, Chalk Bluff Park is pretty cool. They've got, wildlife, animals. You can even go to their park and swim in the river. They've got a pretty deep hole there. I think that's worthwhile to visit while you're in Uvalde County. And then I think there's lots of historical things. We have a nature park outside of Uvalde, that's got ponds and tanks. And I know that bird watchers spend a lot of time there.
Now, is that on 83 going, 117?
Yes.
It 83 turns to 117?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what the name of that park is?
I was going to say it, and I wanted to make sure it was correct.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
I was thinking it was Cooks or Cooksies.
You know what? I think you're right. It's like Cooksey Park or...
I need to make sure.
Cooks
I need
Park.
to look it up. Everybody always calls it the nature park. So
it's funny how locals always have a different name for whatever it is. It may have a real name. Locals are going to call it the nature park.
Yes. Yeah. And that's really fun. I mean, I have done a lot of photography. And so I've done lots of family photos out there, but I've also taken my own kids out there just to, run around and, look at ducks and just kind of get out of the house. So I know during, COVID, we were there a lot, and they'll say, let's just go out there. And they're just happy to like be outside and, kind of, it feels like you're out of town, but you're very close to town. So that's a good option. I think other things, there's lots of historical things to do in Uvalde that people don't consider, like the Briscoe-Garner Museum. You've got Fort Inge. There's just some cool hot spots in the area that I don't know if people consider when they come here. The Opera House, I think our Opera House is phenomenal. And they, we have some really great musicians that come and things that go on throughout the year. So I think that's another thing that I would tell people, like if you're coming here in the off season, like think about staying here for the weekend, go see something at our Opera House. The acoustics are amazing. It's very small. It's a totally different experience than, a large music venue.
We went one time, I think the second year. We
saw we saw the Christmas play. Which one? Oh, I don't know. It was a Christmas thing. A Christmas story. No, not a Christmas story. I don't know. It was a Christmas play.
It's a funny story really attached to that one.
Yeah, it was it's just such a pretty venue and such a cool spot. And I think so many people that come to the Frio River don't necessarily go into Uvalde, the town. They may go to Lakey if they need something, and some may go to Uvalde if they need to run to Walmart or HEB because they forgot something. But there's so many things to do in Uvalde, and they're open year round. A lot of things close in the off season in Concan. So it is nice to be able to plug those things that are open all year long.
Absolutely. I think it's a good way to say, hey, if you like this area during the summer, come back and see us in the fall. We have totally different things to do. You could still stay in Concan and then drive in for different events that are going on in the area.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest challenges that we've come across since being in the area is that as much as we want to promote coming to spend some time out in Uvalde County in the off season, a lot of the few restaurants and stores that we have end up closing down. So a lot of times they have to go to Utopia or Lakey. So we kind of struggle with trying to navigate that, yes, come, but you just have to go and eat and shop at these other towns next to us because everything closes down. What are some of the challenges that you can see right now that you feel like you might need to overcome? I know you're still fresh in the job, but is there anything that comes to mind?
As far as tourism in general, I think what I've seen is people have lots of ideas, but they're very siloed. It's like at this lodging place, this lodging partner has this idea and they're trying to do it on their own. And this lodging partner has an idea and they're on their own. So what I would like to do, and I did this a lot in higher ed, is I would take those silos and start pulling those partners together and have them work on, let's put on an event and host it together. So we're not just bringing people in, maybe 100 people, maybe we're bringing in 500 people, and we've got all these people working together to make it a much larger venue. So that's kind of what I'm seeing as people are meeting with me and they're telling me like their own passions and what they're interested about. I have like 20 pages of notes at this point. But I'm really kind of putting pieces together for people's hobbies and passions. And okay, maybe these people, we can do something at the visitor center and get them together and let's create a plan and start building, bigger ideas as opposed to just little small, siloed ideas. Let's make some really grand events that will draw in people from, Texas, but even outside of Texas.
Yeah.
That's so exciting because we've been saying we need to pull everyone together but everybody's so busy. And so we're all kind of running our own businesses, but you're in that perfect position to meet with everyone and try to figure out how to pull us all together, because there are some very cool events that are happening at different individual businesses, but they can only do so much by themselves with the resources that they have versus pulling together with other businesses, with the river region, with other entities to do something bigger that has a bigger impact to get more people to come out to it. So I'm so excited to hear you say that.
Yeah, I love that. You're on that already, because that's been an issue for some of the locals, or I guess one of the biggest struggles, and a lot of that I think also has to do with some of the lodging owners they're an older generation. They don't utilize social media. They don't know about all the new technological advances in marketing that you can utilize nowadays. Like the way some of us newcomers to the area that are young and kind of, I guess we're hip with technology,
Right.
So I think that also it's a very vast region, and Visit Uvalde County, Texas Hill Country River region, that is a very vast area. So we're all very spread out. And at least in Concan, we don't have a city hall. We're not an official city. There's no entity other than your office that pulls us all together.
Mm-hmm.
And so everyone's operating by themselves, isolated, because we don't have any infrastructure that holds us all together other than the Frio River. And, it takes one person to step in and start to pull us all together to be able to make these larger events happen.
Absolutely. And I think there's, people get burnt out when they try and do things on their own. Like you said, the resources, and sometimes just managing things on your own over and over. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to run this business and do this event, and it becomes overwhelming. So I think birding as an example, there's so many birders that come here, and we advertise in birding magazines, and as I've talked with individuals, people really would like to do some sort of birding event, even if it's small, and then works up to a larger event. And I think if we can pull, 5, 10 people together who all want to do that, I think we have the ability to really make it more extensive. And for one person not to get burnout, it's pulling all those people in. But I also think for the lodging that doesn't have social media, maybe they want to contribute in a way. And then we're marketing for them too, because they're saying, hey, I want to host people here and I'm going to give a 10 to 15% discount. Can we be part of this? So, from the river region, we can, help with that marketing aspect. So maybe if they're not doing the social media, then it's still on there for them. It's still promoting their lodging as well.
Yeah. And some of the ideas Leah shared with me, I won't share them now, but you shared with her, and I'm excited about them. You're welcome to share them if you want, but I don't, I know you're not. It's in the works. I'm excited about them. And I'm hoping that maybe we can bring in some Astro-tourism, because I know it's an untapped market there for us. And with our dark skies, it's phenomenal at night, seeing all the you can see the Milky Way, you can see the beautiful stars, and previous years, the river region has done a good job of trying to promote dark skies with having star parties in summer. Is that something you want to continue doing, and kind of have you thought about exploring and tapping into that market?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that keeps coming up as well as I'm talking with people. We actually did go to the last star party. 3 of my girls are still at home. So they came, and I just wanted to come see it and experience it. What is it like? What's going on at the visitor center? And one of them's 16, one's 12, and one's 8, and they all had a great time. I was going to leave early because I was like, I was tired. I was like, that was like my first week at work. I think I was like, my brain is tired. And they were like, no, Mom, a satellite's coming by that he says we can see like with our eyes and it'll be in the sky. So, I'm like, okay, we're staying till 11. So
Oh,
we did,
gosh.
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people when I got there. And so as I've been talking with people, they've really been talking about kind of with um, the eclipse and the people that came out. It was totally different than the tourists that we've had before. And so I know there's a lot of lodging who are really kind of focused on the dark skies. So kind of putting those things together and promoting like that astro-tourism. Even the Star Party guys said, oh, well, if you think this is nice, you should see it during the winter. So they were really excited. They said, we hope you'll have us back during the winter. And so it's definitely, as we talk to people, I think that's another area that maybe we haven't tapped into.
What's really beautiful is when the conditions are right, that you can see the Milky Way with your naked eye without a telescope. And this is one of the few places that you can do that. I forget what the exact statistic is, but the majority of Americans and the majority of children in America will not see the Milky Way in their lifetime in person, which is crazy and something that we just have. We walk outside and there it is. That leads me, the dark sky conversation, to another part of your job, which is some advocacy for the area. So you're promoting tourism, but in order to continue to have this tourism, our river has to remain pristine, our landscape has to remain beautiful, and our dark skies have to remain dark. We can't promote dark sky tourism if we lose our dark skies because everybody's putting floodlights shining up in the area. So is that something that you've kind of started looking into yet with kind of that advocacy, or are you still orientating yourself with getting to know people?
Well, I'm still orienting myself with that. But actually, I did talk with a lodge owner yesterday who was talking about like they have intentionally made their lodge a dark skies area. They changed some things, floodlights and lighting. And I didn't realize you could get a certificate, as a dark sky lodge, so I haven't explored it in depth yet, but I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I think that's, if people who are looking for that, if you've got that certificate, that's another way to promote your lodging and the whole area, honestly.
Yeah. They, with all kinds of pollution, it's very hard to reverse the effects. But with light pollution, that is the easiest pollution to reverse the effects of. It's just a matter of getting lights that turn down, lights that are orange and not bright white shining up in the air. You can reverse that light pollution. And in the last, how many years have we been here?
7.
7 years. It has been getting brighter out here as far as lights because there's just been more houses that have been built. But if more locals are educated on getting that certificate to be able to advertise your place as somewhere to come for dark skies, we can easily reverse that light pollution and continue to have some of the darkest skies in Texas.
Yeah, we kind of had a podcast on that with Don from the Hill Country Alliance.
Oh, cool.
Have you heard of the Hill Country Alliance? It's really a good resource.
Yes, I have heard of them.
And she's kind of one of the dark skies coordinators, and we had her on. This was pre-eclipse, and we were kind of talking about the eclipse, but we also hit a lot on dark skies and some of the misconceptions about having a dark house or and trying to prevent. Like one of them was having lights outside your home prevent people from stealing or anything like that. But that's not true. There's really actually no data that supports that. So I know a lot of people will keep their lights on because out of fear. But actually, you can kind of serve the same purpose by having your lights off. But yeah, so we do have a podcast on that.
That's amazing.
But aside from that, is there anything that you want to specifically talk about with your new role, and kind of where do you see this organization going?
I think my goal overall is just to really start building that off-season tourism and putting those people together and, not necessarily my vision, but bringing groups of, visionaries together and then supporting that. So how do we move forward? I did have a few people say, like, we don't want to meet just to meet. Like, we want to make sure that there's an end goal and, we're moving forward. So, that's something that I'm good at. When I worked with colleges, we developed plans for success and persistence. So it wasn't just like, oh, let's talk about this. It's what are our next steps? What are we going to do? Let's backwards map our timelines. And so I'm really excited to bring people together, whether that's in Concan, all of Uvalde County, whatever that looks like. That's really one of the visions that I had, even when I interviewed for this job, was the next step. So building off of what we have. And then, we have some really cool things happening. And this was started before I came in, but I came in at a really great place where we're developing a new website. It's going to be more extensive. We're going to have regional maps. And so we're in the middle of building that. And so that's going to be really exciting. It's going to be interactive, user-friendly. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see that come up and get going so that as we're, if you want to share it on your lodging site, it's just going to have more information on the area. So I think that's exciting.
Love it. And I can't wait to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that covered most of my stuff. I'm just excited to see where we go from here. And I was telling Jake before we did this podcast that we need to come have you back on after you've been in the position longer than 3 weeks so that we can then reflect on where you've gone and where we're at, a year from now.
Yeah, maybe in a year, a year from now. So
I love that. We can do benchmarks. How's it going in 6 months and then a year?
This is your yearly evaluation.
I love it.
No, well, we're excited that you're here with us, and we can't wait to see all the things that you're working on and doing and already doing. We're excited about it. So we just appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully we can do this again in a year.
Absolutely.
And have a lot more things to talk about.
Yes, I'm excited for it. Well, and I really thank you all for inviting me and having me here this early in the game to talk about the river region and Visit Uvalde County. And I'm really excited. I think our community has been so supportive. I see people in the grocery store who are like, we're so excited for you. You're going to be great at this. So it's really been my heart has just kind of been filled with the response and people being so excited. And I've just felt so welcomed all the way around, just from, Concan, but the whole Uvalde community. So I'm really excited to be here and make a difference in our community.
Yep, we agree. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And right now it's just such a busy time. So thank you again for coming.
Absolutely.
All right. Adios, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.